And much later, Ahmed Tinubu sworn in as new president of Federal Republic of Nigeria after their disputed elections. We'll take you there for a quick update plus touch base at the NPP headquarters, where the former Agric Minister Dr. Friyakoto has picked nomination forms or was picked on his behalf. We'll get details for you if you stay with us shortly. A pleasure that you could be a part of this afternoon's bulletin. It's streaming live on Facebook. Our handle 3FM 927, as well as on Facebook 3FM 927, Twitter as well. Same handles 3FM 927. I am Eric Mawuena Egbeta. Let's get into the details, and we'll start with the Judicial Services strike, because that strike is continuing unabated despite appeals to suspend the industrial action. JUSAG declared an indefinite nationwide strike last week, Thursday, May 25, to back their demand for implementation of a new and improved salary structure for its members for 2023 and 2024. According to them, the action became necessary following government refusal to approve the new salary structure. The strike has grounded all activities at the various courts to IHO. The National Labour Commission, which declared the industrial action illegal, has since invited the leadership of JUSAG to another round of talks following Thursday's failed attempt. On Friday, Chief Justice nominee Justice Gertrude Tokuno, appearing before the Appointments Committee of Parliament, indicated that the grievances of JUSAG were being addressed.
The strike that was pronounced recently, to the best of my knowledge, and not just briefing, but personal knowledge, matters are under control. We've had meetings with them. We are one family, and I believe that very soon we will see the court doors open.
In respect of the strike which you have just been, what is the specific issue on which the judicial service staff have gone on strike?
It's about the review of salaries. There is a structure for the review of salaries on a biannual basis, and that process started. And staff, I think, are of the opinion that it's going too slowly, and this is why they've gone on strike. But the process is very much going on, and yesterday we were in meetings.
Has the judiciary defaulted on their part of that process?
I would say not at all, because it's not a process that's limited to the judiciary. It's a process that starts with proposals from the judiciary, goes to the Judicial Council, goes to the executive, Ministry of Finance is involved, the Office of the President is involved. So it's a cycle, and then they get back to the judiciary. It's a cycle, and as I said, the process is ongoing. I think their complaint was that it was going too slowly.
That's Justice Gertrude Tokuno. She's a Chief Justice nominee. However, checks this morning reveal the strike is far from over, as the courts remain empty with no activity at all. We take you to the Ashanti region to start off with, where my colleague Ibrahim Abubakar has been gauging the mood at the various courts in the region to find out exactly what is happening, and we'll get details for you shortly, as well as touch base with Labour Affairs correspondent Daniel Opoku, who's here in Accra and reports the situation is not different from Kumasi and the likes. We join on the phone pretty shortly by Ibrahim Abubakar. He's joined us on the telephone lines with some more details. Ibrahim, talk to us. What's the situation like at the court in Kumasi?
Well, Mauna, I can tell you that the strike is fighting hard, despite pleas by all quarters, from the Judicial Service Management to NLC, for JUSAG members to return to work. And the strike continues unabated. In fact, this morning, when you walk to almost all the court complexes within Kumasi, you realize that the court has literally become a ghost place. You wouldn't find anyone with the exception of security personnel manning the facility. So this morning, we are not seeing more people coming disappointed because the strike started Thursday. So apparently more people are aware that and the courts are no more working. We have the jurors who were also worried that they are also frustrated, and they have also warned that going forward they may also boycott court activities because they have issues that they have to leave their work and come and attend, yet the courts are not working. So the place has been deserted, it is under lock and key.
Right then, Ibrahim, many thanks for providing those details for us. Ibrahim Abubakar is my colleague in Kumasi, providing details as to what the situation is like at court in the Ashanti region. Daniel Opoku, like I mentioned, he's our Labour Affairs correspondent. You join us on phone as well with some more details, not just on the development at the courts, but on negotiations as well between the Labour Commission and the striking staff of the Judicial Service Workers Union, and get some understanding as to exactly what the situation is. We know that the Labour Commission attempted meeting them last Thursday. That fell flat, didn't achieve the expected result. We heard from the Labour Commission boss, Ofusua Sama, who amongst many things said that the planned meeting did not come off and that the leadership of JUSAG left even before they could meet. Hence, a postponement of the meeting to this week. We'll be joined on the phone pretty shortly by Labour Affairs correspondent Daniel Opoku, who provide a lot more details for us as to exactly what the situation is. Well, you're listening to the news here on 3FM 92.7. Amongst many things, we've been bringing you details of the continuous strike by staff of the Judicial Service Staff Association of Ghana as it continues to bite hard. Daniel Opoku's joined us on the telephone line. He's our Labour Affairs correspondent. So, Danny, we've been hearing from Ibrahim in Kumasi, who tells us that courts there have been deserted. In fact, he's taken the pain of entering the court premises and everywhere is under lock and key. Is it similar here in the capital? And what's been the response of the Labour Commission following the unsuccessful meeting last week? Hello, Danny.
Yeah, but I can hear you now.
Yes, I'm asking what the situation is like at the courts in the capital this morning.
Right. So the situation this morning and after this afternoon has not changed. If you recall, on Friday, we visited some of the courts, and all those who came, the clients who came to the court to access justice, unfortunately, may have to go because of this strike. And the situation has not changed, basically, it has not changed. It's just that the strike is still on, and we have been able to speak to the leadership of JUSAG, who a short while ago, we were telling me that they will be in a meeting with their management to get the issues resolved.
And what about the Labour Commission? Because we know that last week they were planning on meeting them, but the executive secretary for Swasama says they left the meeting.
The National Labour Commission on Friday assembled or called for a meeting today. So today, the leadership of JUSAG was supposed to meet the National Labour Commission, i.e. all the commissioners of the National Labour Commission. But the members of JUSAG and the leadership are saying that they are not going to be with the National Labour Commission. They will rather meet their management to get their issues resolved. Because recall, when the Chief Justice appeared before the vetting committee, a similar question was posed to her about the strike, where she indicated that they were going to engage the leadership of JUSAG and also ensure that the presidency approves whatever has been put on the table of the president. For the leadership of JUSAG, they have confidence in their management to get their issues resolved before they'll be able to come back to the National Labour Commission and report the issues back to them.
Right then, many thanks. That's Labour Affairs correspondent Daniel Opoku providing a lot more details there for us as to what the situation is regarding the strike by the Judicial Services Staff Association of Ghana. Let's do politics now, where a group of supposed farmers and some delegates of the governing New Patriotic Party have picked forms for former Greek Minister Dr. Friya Koto to contest for the flag bearership position of the governing New Patriotic Party. The governing party last Friday opened nomination for presidential aspirant in the party to contest with the prize of 50,000 cedis set for nomination forms. Already, 4 aspirants have picked forms, making the Dr. Akoto team the 5th to express interest in the party's flag bearership race. Or speaking to journalists after picking the forms, spokesperson for the team, Dr. Prince Amuzu, said they're headed to the aspirant to present the nomination forms.
To say they want to encourage Dr. Akoto, the delegates, the farmers, the good people of Ghana, we say thank you. I speak for Dr. Akoto, so on his behalf I want to thank you. But to hear his own words, we are going to move from here and go to the campaign office and pass these forms to him for his comments.
Is it to say that it is farmers and delegates who paid the 50,000?
Farmers across the country indicated interest to do this, and he did not deny them the opportunity. Delegates as well and friends came together to pool resources as a sign of love and support for him, to say they are for him and they want to encourage him to contest. Thank you.
So that's Dr. Prince Amuzu. He spoke and he mentioned that they were moving to Dr. Akoto to pick thoughts from him. Noble Crosby, and he's with that team. He's joined us on the telephone line. Was at the NPP's headquarters. The indication we get is that he's at the campaign grounds of Dr. Free Akoto. Crosby, he's been speaking. Exactly what has he been saying?
All right, Eric, thanks for having me. So, subsequently, from when the form was picked on behalf of Dr. Free Akoto by Dr. Amuzu at the campaign office of Dr. Akoto, all he has been saying is his track record in the exec ministry should speak for him, and he's calling on delegates to measure all the candidates based on the various portfolios they served in and the output they made for the country and for the party, even before they head onto the primaries to be voted for on behalf to lead their NPP going into the 2024 general elections. When a question was asked to Dr. Akoto about him not being favored in almost all polls that have been conducted, particularly from Global Info Analytics, he said that these polls, they offer nothing. They are nothing to go by because they are usually sponsored, and the results or the outcome of the polls do not reflect exactly what the views or the opinions and the desires of the delegates. We're talking about the people who make the decision on the final day of voting, Eric.
Let's take a listen to exactly what he told you.
That I have never sponsored any poll. Find out who is sponsoring those polls. If I sponsor a poll, I bet you they will say that I'm first. But I won't, because itself is city. It doesn't serve any purpose. We know what you are doing on the ground. So all the polls in the world can say whatever they want, but we are talking about the 900 people who will be voted, the super delegates, and the 210,000 delegates who will be voted on the 4th of November. That's what matters. So I don't know the basis, and you as a journalist, you should be questioning the basis of these polls. You just take them as gospel. You don't even know the statistical significance of them, the population, the sample size, all those things, and to be able to intelligently question them. You just take them as, oh, this poll is saying this person is leading, this person is leading. Let them lead, but the delegates have the last word.
That's Dr. Free Akoto. Let's just end quickly with my colleague Noble Crosby Annan. And so there's optimism on his part that he's going to go into this presidential primaries and win it.
Yes, Mawuena, there's huge optimism from himself and his followers. His entire camp, they're very optimistic that going into the MPP primaries, he will win confidently, and he's not harboring any doubt whatsoever. He believes that the people who matter, the delegates, will vote for him on the day.
Right, the Noble Crosby Annan is my colleague, providing some details as to the picking of forms by the team of Dr. Free Akoto. We're staying with politics a while longer, and this time round on the camp of the NDC, because there's been a vigil held in the Asin North constituency ahead of the declaration even by the Speaker of Parliament of that seat being vacant. The NDC in the area, they've held a vigil where they've, amongst many things, thrown their support behind the now former Member of Parliament, Richard Jachi Kwesi. We'll go on the telephone line shortly and engage Mustafa Gbande. He's the Deputy General Secretary of the Opposition National Democratic Congress. Unpick thoughts ahead as to why the party is beginning to put together steps like these ahead of even a formal declaration that the seat has indeed become vacant. And we'll hear from Mustafa Gbande. Now, he's joined us on phone. Many thanks, Mr. Gbande, for speaking to us this afternoon. And so the seat is yet to be declared vacant. We know that the NDC issued a statement where you, amongst many things, stated that you're supporting James Jachikwesin to contest for that seat again when the by-election does come around. You already are beginning to see activities in the area. What's accounting for this?
Oh, thank you very much. I think that there haven't been a schedule for by-election. Whatever is going on as speculation, the activity you see in Asen North is the continuation of our political activity in the constituency to showcase the lack of justice and the political incarceration and ostracization of innocent lawmakers, for which the situation happens to be one. You will recall that the Supreme Court of Ghana issued an oral judgment to which effect they ordered that his name should be expunged from the records of Parliament. And to that extent, he ceases to be a member of Parliament. One, we are using the court system to deny the people of Asen their rightful representation in Parliament. And this is being championed by government in underwork with the judiciary.
So what we saw in Asin North is a reflection of the people and not the NDC, this vigil?
It's a reflection of the people's sentiment against what has been done. As we speak to you, the individual has a right to review or employ other judicial remedies to a judgment emanating from the Supreme Court. However, he does not even have that judgment in his hand. That will be the starting point of his review in the first place. As we speak, he has 14 days within which, after judgment, he can take any further action. He does not have the judgment. Days are running. The Attorney General has already written to Parliament requesting the Speaker of Parliament to expunge the name of Honorable Jachikwesin, a clear act of travesty of justice. They are tying his hand at his back, and an attack on the representation of the people of Asin North is an attack on the people. And so a vigil was organized by the people on the ground to demonstrate their displeasure and how sorrowful the act of government is. Government machinery is behind all these orchestrations, and to the largest extent, because of the way and manner Supreme Court is conducting themselves, it is as if they are in bed with the executive to manipulate this entire process to government's advantage to restructure Parliament. And that is why the people of Asin Central are not happy, for which they organize the vigil.
Right. Mr. Gbande, I'm sure we'll come back to you as you've already mentioned that the Attorney General has written to Parliament. There'll be a lot of conversations on Asin North in subsequent times. I appreciate that you could speak to us.
We are grateful to you.
That's Mustafa Gbande. He's a Deputy General Secretary of the Opposition National Democratic Congress, speaking to us this afternoon on the vigil organized by residents of Asin North. And like you heard him say, it's a reflection of exactly their concerns and sentiment. And we'll move away from the politics now, much now to governance. And government's announcement to continue charging the COVID-19 levy may come as a disappointment to both customers and the business community, especially those who've been pushing for its removal. President Akufo-Addo, in a national address on Sunday, emphasized that the levy is still crucial in bridging the fiscal gaps generated by the pandemic. We can hear from the president, who, amongst many things, also reiterated that his government did not misuse funds, the COVID-19 funds, I beg your pardon.
Let me make it clear that COVID expenditures, essentially unplanned, have been subject at my instigation to audit by the Auditor General and are going through parliamentary processes. We all deserve to be reassured that the crisis was not used as a cover for corrupt practices. The COVID health recovery levy that was introduced to help fill some of the expenditure holes might not be the most popular tax, but I entreat all of you to bear with us.
So that's the president quite succinctly stating and asking that Ghanaians bear with him a while longer. Dr. Joseph Obeng, he's the president of the Ghana Union of Traders Association. He's joined us on the telephone line for quick reactions. Dr. Obeng, I appreciate that you could speak to us. So your general thoughts on the decision by government or the president announcing that you continue to bear with them as they continue the COVID levy and its collection. What's the reaction of the trading community?
It is not fair. It's supposed to be a one-purpose tax. But gradually, when policy makers, they bring this one-purpose tax, what we have seen and observed is that they make it permanent. If you recall, the special import levy was supposed to be a one-purpose tax that after the sunset clause, and after the sunset, they will remove it. It has become a permanent tax that is being collected on it. This particular COVID levy that was imposed on us, there's no precedent anywhere in the world. And that if there's any institution, organization that suffered most under the effects of COVID, you cannot take away the businesses in all the countries. So how can we be settled again when we have gone through such a serious problem during that time, be made to pay this levy, and when it has gone off the table, we are still going to pay. That is not fair. We keep on saying that tax to GDP in the sub-region, ours is the lowest. How is it so? It's because we are being overburdened with taxes, and businesses are not going to make the government to get more revenue. And that, compared to the neighboring countries, and the number of taxes being made to pay by these countries, ours is the highest. And theirs is on the lower side, thereby ensuring compliance. They are having more because the compliance level is higher. And we are not able to have more because we are being unnecessarily punished with taxes, and it's impeding on the growth of businesses.
Right,
and that's what is happening here.
It's going to stay on. That's the clear indication from the government. For you as Guta, we know that from time to time you continue to engage government on these matters. Is this a conversation you're going to be raising quite strongly, and how soon? Or are you going to be asking for timelines now from the government as to when this can go on for?
Definitely, we are going to engage with government, especially with the three new taxes that have been imposed on us. We haven't even finished engaging with government, and so we are going to add this COVID levy in our future engagement with government. We know we have the media budget review to contend with, and we have to still talk with government. You know, people think that the business community have relaxed, where government keep imposing taxes on us. These particular taxes that we allowed it to come without any serious agitation or demonstration is because we were trapped. We were trapped because of the IMF view, and that was attached to these taxes, and that we have to be careful not to do anything that would delay government effort to get this IMF deal to come and salvage the economy of Ghana. That's essentially what happened. We were just trapped. It doesn't mean that they can keep on piling on these taxes on us to destroy businesses. Businesses need to survive, and it's very serious, and then we have to talk about these issues. Yeah.
Doc, I appreciate that you could speak to us this afternoon.
Thank you so much.
That's Dr. Joseph Obeng. He's the president of the Ghana Union of Traders Association, speaking to us this afternoon. And the news is streaming live on Facebook. Our handles 3FM927, as well as on Twitter. Same handles 3FM927. Our top stories in the last 26 minutes: COVID-19 taxes and its related levies to stay on a while longer despite calls for the scrapping. As you've been hearing from the president of the Ghana Union of Traders Association, these one-purpose staff taxes need to go, and says that they are going to continue to engage government on these matters to ensure that the taxes are removed. He also adds that the 3 new taxes didn't see a lot of agitation because it was tied to the country's IMF bailout package, hence less and less of agitations, but they will pick it up and ensure that some of these taxes are removed. Let's do some other stories now. And for the first time in Ghana's history, neurosurgeons have successfully conducted an awake brain surgery to remove a tumor from a patient. Portia Gabo tells the story of how Sergeant Sylvester Boachi of the Ghana Police Service played the mouth organ, sang the national anthem, and identified objects in the 8-hour complex surgery, the first in West Africa.
For 2 years, 39-year-old Sergeant Sylvester Boachi had challenges with personality, recall and memory, and difficulty in communication. But a turning point came when he was referred to the Greater Accra Regional Hospital this year and met with Professor Samuel Kaba, consultant neurosurgeon.
We realized that operating on him, we would then have to work on him awake. Because if we attempt operating on him asleep completely, we might be removing the tumor, but he will come out with a deficit.
It's Thursday, May 25, the day of the surgery. Anesthetists prepare him for the surgery. Sergeant Sylvester Boachi is gradually woken up for a procedure called brain mapping. In this process, different parts of his brain are stimulated as the neurosurgeon applies small electrical currents to the tissue around the tumor. Sergeant Sylvester has a role to play as he answers questions, identifies objects shown to him by the clinical psychologist and neurophysiologist.
Are we on the tumor?
Yes, cow.
Cow. We are on the tumor. Yes?
Cow.
Is he recognizing?
Yes.
Can he recognize?
He's not recognizing now.
Is he recognizing?
No.
Show it to him again.
He's recognizing.
Now. Give him the mouth organ, let's see.
Throughout the process, he remains loyal to his country and the Ghana Police Service.
A report by my colleague Portia Gabo. And in faraway Nigeria, where Bola Ahmed Tinubu has been sworn in as the new president of Africa's most populous nation, and he's been, amongst many other things, promising a new Nigeria.
As Africa's most populous nation and as the best, hope and strongest champion of the black race. As a citizen, we declare as one unified people, devoted to one unified nation, national cause, that as long as this world exists, Nigeria shall exist.
That's Bola Ahmed Tinubu. There'll be a lot more on this for you, including a touch base in Nigeria for some more details. That's our bulletin for this afternoon. A lot more news if you log on to 3news.com. And Ekia Mensa Brampa, she's next with the very latest from the world of business. I am Eric Mawuena Egbeta. A lot more news if you log on to 3news.com. Business is next.